Last time, we talked about the history of female pilots. Today, we're going to introduce another important job in aviation: flight attendants. As the air travel industry began to expand, the need for professionals in charge of passenger care and safety arose. To address this need, airlines came up with the role of flight attendants. Nowadays, flight attendants can be both female and male, and the ratio is currently 3-1. But do you know that when this job first came out, only men were allowed to do it? The flight attendant uniform also went through several stages of evolution, which reflected social progress and how the expectation toward female professionals evolved. Let's take a closer look at this with our friend Ahana.
Hi, it's me, Ahana. Let me take you through the history of flight attendants. By the way, last time I found out that the screen was really heavy, so I got this. In the early 20th century, commercial aviation started to develop. As the idea of air travel expanded, airlines started to realize the need for professionals that can ensure flight safety, comfort, and well-being of passengers. And that's when the occupation of flight attendants appeared. At first, flight attendant was an all-male profession, more often called stewards. These people were in charge of refueling the plane, loading luggage, and occasionally assisting passengers in need. This situation continued for a long time, until in 1930, a woman appeared in the aviation industry. This was Ellen Church, a woman from the US. She was a nurse with a dream of flying. To pursue her dreams, she went to the Boeing Air Transport Office, the former United Airlines. She believed that, using experience and profession as a nurse, she can ease passengers' fear of flying. She tried to convince the authorities to give her a chance, and succeeded. This marked a turning point in the history of the flight attendant industry. The company gave Ellen Church a 3-month trial to work as a flight attendant. And after 3 months, it proved a success. The passengers liked the service. As the company officially hired her, Ellen Church became the first ever female flight attendant. After her success, other airlines began hiring their own female flight attendants. Ellen Church influenced this industry so much that it became required for all flight attendants to have a nursing background. Another reason airlines like to hire nurses is because of the job strict restrictions. In order to become a nurse, women needed to weigh less than 115 pounds, more than 5 feet 4 inches high, less than 25 of age, and had to be single. This idea was inherited into the aviation industry because airlines also want to emphasize on the femininity of flight attendants. Before the 1960s, people expected women to portray certain ideas of femininity. Airline executives believe having female flight attendants in neat uniforms would create a feminine atmosphere on board, which also aligned with the social expectations at the time. When commercial aviation was just starting to develop, people often thought of airplanes and flying as scary and dangerous. The airlines thought that by presenting female attendants as professional and stylish, it will make the industry seem more attractive. In order to fit in the airline's regulations, those flight attendants often worked uncomfortably. They not only had to wear skirts, which were difficult to do big movements with, but also had to deal with sexual harassment with politeness and professionalism. Between 1960 and 1970s, women's liberation movements rose, challenging traditional gender norms and expectations. Activists pushed for practical and equal treatment in workplaces. Due to these pressures, some airlines started to allow female flight attendants to wear pants. The pioneers include the Southwest Airlines, British Airways, and Qantas. After that, the airline industry started to prioritize function over appearance, offering trousers as an option for female attendants. They also abandoned some outdated appearance restrictions, such as the weight and age limitations. Only height restrictions were retained, because the attendants have to be able to reach luggage racks. Nowadays, airlines have been giving flight attendants more freedom by gender-neutral policies, such as letting them decide whether to wear makeup, whether to wear flat or heel shoes, and more. That's the history of flight attendants. The industry is certainly taking small but sure steps toward gender equality.